Round 1 of a league with mono white Martyr. We're looking at a hand that looks pretty interesting. 4 mana, the ability to cast Gideon, the ability to Ghostly Prison, and Kami. We would obviously love to have a removal spell or something related to the Martyr package, but this seems like a keepable hand. We are on the draw, so we can draw those things. But we'll keep it and see what our opponent's on in round 1 here. Our opponent starts with a Marsh Flats, doesn't crack it right away, so no Thoughtseize, but this could be Spirits, this could be an Abzan type deck, this could be a lot of different things on just a Marsh Flats. We'll start with a Mistveil Plains tapped and pass the turn. Our opponent does not crack, which is interesting, and then plays a basic Plains. Opponent still hasn't cast anything on their instep, so that's an interesting decision. We're going to play a Plains and just pass the turn. They do crack this time, so we'll get to see what they're on. It is a Godless Shrine tapped. Isolated Chapel, so I'm thinking Spirits pretty hard here, and this will be interesting because that's our next play in a slightly different way. What I like about this situation is we get to use our Gideon to do stuff to their Gideon. And it's just going to be kind of a Gideon stalemate here. This is an interesting matchup so far. I do believe they are on not spirits, but tokens, and just haven't had a very tokeny hand just yet. We will actually not cast the Martyr at the moment, and instead we are going to cast a Ghostly Prison. Right now there's not really a reason to do the Field of Ruins, so maybe they will give us some information with their upcoming plays. Another Godless Shrine, different art. That is the Expedition art, which I've always really loved. It's actually one of the more affordable expeditions. They continue to uptick Gideon as we just kind of stare at each other. And they will Field of Ruin our Field of Ruin. This is very stalematey right now. We're starting to assemble the Martyr into Serra to wreck in. So there's that. It's just kind of interesting at this point. We're going to cast a Walking Ballista and just kind of start actually doing something. This might get us a path off of them. And there's the Inquisition, furthering my suspicion that this is a Spirits deck that's just operating under a different line of play. They take the Serra. And we get another Serra, so that's pretty good. We will put a 1/1 counter onto the Ballista here. And I think let's smash in here. Let's actually emblem back at them. Part of me wants to smash in, but let's just both have an emblem here. Pardon my sniffle. Right now we are ahead in life totals, and this is a very weird situation. We're both at 3 cards. Well, that is interesting. That screen, they upticked Gideon onto my Gideon, which tells me that they have a path for my Ballista. Doesn't matter really to me, because now I can start crucibling them out of the game. And we will do just that. And then we'll uptick on their Gideon and pass. I feel like it's a mistake they're in a tough situation because they don't have a threat. It's not a mistake. I almost said it's a mistake to uptick inconsistently. It's just they're in a bad position because they haven't had a threat up until now. Ballista seems very good against a spirit deck. There's a Squadron Hawk, which we like a lot. We're going to just continue to work their mana and fix ours. The problem with this is it is a 2-color deck, so they don't really have a dearth of basics. They're going to be able to consistently have a basic, and the Field of Ruin plan is going to take a very long time. But we now get to expedite the process a little more and potentially force a Wrath to come down here. Because we have a 6/6 and a 3/3. We're going to still continue to uptick onto our Gideon onto their Gideon. We're going to leave Walking Ballista up to shoot down spirit tokens. Sorry, I'm going to blow my nose real fast. And in the time I blew my nose, they conceded. So that's how that goes. Seems like I got way ahead of them. Definitely feels like the Elspeth comes in, as well as the Sun Titan. Since they have Planeswalkers, we want to look at as many cast outs as possible, as well as Hex Parasite. Rest in Peace may be relevant. I accidentally collect Rune Halo, which I don't want because you can't name tokens. So we're looking at bringing in 8 cards. Our Gideon on their Gideon was actually really good. Ghostly Prison is impressive. Archangel is very good. The Wraths are very good. So there's actually not a ton we can cut here. I'm going to consider getting rid of the Squadron Hawks. Let's not bring in the Rest in Peace. Let's not bring those in. Let's cut a path. Let's cut 2 paths. We'll keep 2 in the game for their Gideons. but I don't think we need the full set of 4. Yeah, it looks like the cut is Squadron Hawk here, which is unfortunate because it is a spirit deck. But that creates a really tight build. Let's see how it runs. I'm not committed to it. I'm not in love with it because cutting Squadron Hawk is a bit silly. This seems very interesting. We're going to keep this. They start with a Shambling Vent, so I'm very happy with that Field of Ruin in hand. We'll go to a Mistveil Plains and pass the turn. Urborg, Night's Whisper. This looks like a more budgety list, it seems, or they just haven't hit the walkers that the average tokens deck is running these days. We'll do another Mistveil Plains and pass. Next turn we do Gideon, and we have 5 mana now, so we're very close to Sun Titan. They'll cast the Lingering Souls. There is our Emeria. We'll hit one of their spirits with a Gideon plus and pass. I really am interested in how the new tokens deck after War of the Spark utilizes some of these planeswalkers. I think tokens has always been a very good budget deck, and now with a bunch of budget black and white planeswalkers, it might have some flexibility. The sad news for it is the Sorin actually isn't that great in a tokens deck because it reanimates creatures. It doesn't allow you to do anything with spells. It gives everything lifelink, so it does have the possibility of everything having lifelink, but only on your turn. And I think as a tokens player, I am interested in the other Sorin. They will again Field of Ruin my Field of Ruin. I'm interested in the other Sorin, which gives it, both other Sorins I think give it lifelink until your next turn. And I think that's just objectively better than what the new Sorin has to offer. Inquisition is going to take the Walking Ballista and see some big creatures. We're going to hit the Emeria here, just so we have Avacyn next turn. Having a Wrath is very good. Right now they're stuck swinging into my Gideon and just undoing my pluses. So now would be probably a good time to flashback Lingering Souls. Or to cast a Gideon. We're going to uptick onto their Gideon and then pass turn. Holding up Archangel. Another Shambling Vent. They choose to continue to go wide. I really hate Urborg because it forces me to actually tap my white lands for mana rather than just turn them sideways. Urborg's frustrating like that. Archangel triggers. And they will path the Archangel. That's okay, because that gives us the ability to play Sun Titan and bring back Gideon. Oh no! I've been, again, lesson learned, number 879. I've been hitting the 2 to try to save time, and there I just lost the ability to save my Gideon from lethal damage by shrinking a knight ally. That's unfortunate. I can just bring it back by attacking with Sun Titan, but you kind of don't want to. You want to not lose it, if possible. This game is very much in hand, it feels like. Even though our opponent has 5 cards, it feels difficult for our opponent to get away from a Sun Titan. We will play the Ghostly Prison right away. And that slows our opponent down to functionally a crawl. And then 2, 4, 5. I don't think we rush it here. There's a part of me that wants to attack with Sun Titan, but there's not really a purpose to it. I think it's much better to just pass the turn, cast the Elspeth next turn, with Sun Titan just walling off any and all defenders. Ghostly, our opponent can attack with 2, 4, they have 6 lands, so they can get all 3 of the Knight allies in, and we want to be able to pick them off one by one with the Sun Titan. We're not in any hurry here. Knight ally. Obnixilis. There is one of the planeswalkers we've been waiting for. Help our opponent draw cards and lose life. Clicking is annoying. Create 3 1/1s. And we're almost at Emeria mana. We should go score to the Flagstones. We should have done that already, but almost at Emeria mana. And go scoring the Flagstones would get us there. We're going to just continue to hold up though. We missed our Gideon again. Playing with Planeswalkers is new to me, so missing Gideon is bad, but we're just so far ahead right now, it's difficult to imagine a world where we lose this. So I'm not beating myself up about the Gideon. Obviously, play better, play tight, but it's been a long day, unfortunately, and I'm not going to beat myself up about missing an uptick on my Gideon, because our opponent is in a position where they really need to draw cards to do anything to us. There's a Gideon. We're gonna get a Hex Parasite and a Kami. Crack Martyr. Gain some life. Sacrifice our own Ghost Quarter onto Flagstones to get 2 planes out of the deck. If we bring in Rest in Peace, we're not able to do this. So Flagstones gets a planes, and then Ghost Quarter gets Flagstones gets a tap planes, Ghost Quarter gets an untap planes. We'll throw down a Hex Parasite. We're just gonna walk right into a Wrath here because spirits don't really play Wraths. We're trying to essentially tell our opponent to scoop it up here. Just, we have more than you. We're going to do stuff with that more than you. Please concede. Path on the Sun Titan. Almost out of basics. And we will send all of them at Gideon. Oh no, they have to go to Gideon Jura. And they just get to pick off all that with their Knight ally. But we are able to bring back Kami every turn, bring back Hex Parasite every turn since they're so scared of Hex Parasite. We are waking up in 6 hours. That is not true, it is the weekend. The interesting thing here is that if I can't keep the Hex Parasite on the board, show the graveyards real fast. If I can't keep the Hex Parasite on the board, I can't really kill their walkers until I get Elspeth online. So I think we keep playing Kami until we find a Wrath. Yeah, I think we keep bringing back Kami until we find a Wrath to protect our Elspeth. Elspeth is the way we win this game right now. That hurts. Field of Ruin on our Emeria hurts. We're down to 1 last planes. So, oh, that's interesting. Uptick Elspeth. Emblem Gideon. We're going to use that path on whatever they block Kami with, so we can still answer that. Everything has to go at Gideon Jura. Everything has to go at Gideon Jura. Whatever they block Kami with gets pathed, and we move on about our life. With no cards in hand. Trying desperately to get Elspeth up and running. Hoping to draw a proc. I think we just emblem, though. It stands to reason that we just emblem. We're finally ahead in terms of time, so we got that going for us as well. Do they have a path for the Kami? I think that's what they're considering right now, is do they path the Kami? And it feels like the answer is yes. They really need to kill my Elspeth. But I've tried to bait them into hitting the Gideon. That is not a path. That is a settle the wreckage. We are going to not let that be exiled. This is an awkward matchup. Our opponent is hurting themselves quite a bit with Obnixilis. Obnixilis' ultimate is whenever a player draws a card, you lose 2 life on me. So that hurts. It's a shock a turn, and then they can also do it again. We can keep Elspeth alive here. They have to pay a lot of mana to attack. We will, oh, no, they're just going to send it straight at Elspeth. Unblockable. Seems fine. We really wanted our Emeria. Our Emeria ends this game a lot faster. We're not too worried, but we are a little annoyed. Flagstones of Trokair. So we will I suppose put some more spirits onto the battlefield. Did they uptick their Gideon? I don't know why it just doesn't auto attack. Yeah, I don't know why it doesn't just auto attack. That's such a weird oversight. This is a lot grindier than this game should be. It makes me feel... that's wrong. This matchup's always grindy. But it makes me feel like... even with all the powerhouse stuff I've sided in, the deck is still struggling to do much of anything. I guess I should start Mistveil Plainsing things back. Like the Walking Ballista, the Field of Ruin, the Ghost Quarter. There's the emblem. So the emblem will put a tidy little bow on this matchup if we let it. Where's our Wrath, though? Where's literally any Wrath? That would have made quick work of this matchup. You know, Avacyn, Hallowed Burial, Wrath of God. Where's Cast Out? Lots of answers that can still be drawn. Where they're hiding, who's to say? Opponent has 10 minutes 47 seconds left. Still creating a lot of stuff. We would like to see literally anything this turn. cast out would be nice. Everything's at Elspeth, so we can block 3 of it, and Elspeth still dies, so we won't block any of it. How about that? How about we don't block any of your nonsense? Elspeth goes down. We do get a Ranger. We take some damage. We will put an Elspeth on the bottom. Put a Ballista on the bottom. Stop over clicking at the end of turns, because we really should have had the Ballista on the bottom already. We'll grab a Martyr for later, and drop a Walking Ballista. We're going to start attacking with Gideon now, since they tapped out. There's the path. Nope, sorry. Our opponent taking their time is a mistake for our opponent. There's 33 cards in the deck, right? 3 of those cards are cast out. 5 of those cards are Wraths. The rest are mostly lands and Martyrs and Serras. I would really like to draw the things that aren't lands and Martyrs and Serras anymore. Gideon of the Trials becomes a 4/4 for some reason. I don't know why Gideon does an emblem there. Is that a misclick? That's a lot of mana. That's 6 mana for 3 damage. 4 mana for 2 damage. math, please. Emeria is a card. Let's see if they're able to find what they need. Let's get Walking Ballista back in. Let's get Kami back into the graveyard. Let's run our nonsense into Gideon Jura. Our opponent will have, if Emeria doesn't put us back in this game, our opponent only has 8 minutes to kill us twice. This is a grindy one, but I feel like we're in the position to take it over. I mean, Omnixilis is going to kill us really quickly, but our opponent isn't drawing a ton of cards. Our opponent can only attack for so much. Now, oh, well, there's lethal. That makes sense. Now they zero. Just in case we have... Just we have Settle the Wreckage, which we don't. And they deal the exact right amount. I was okay with everything. I think we're just going to run it right back like that. Let's try to focus, though, and not miss things. We missed a lot of early game nonsense. So let's try not to do that anymore. We will play first. There's the cast out we never drew. Wonderful. This is a good hand with the double martyr. Getting an early Crucible is nice. Getting an early cast out is nice. Turn 1 Thoughtseize. Turn 1 Inquisition. Everything is a target except for the Ghost Quarter and the cast out. That's why we like cast out over Oblivion Ring. Not only does it cycle, it does allow us to dodge Inquisition. So, a lot going for it there. I really don't like that Inquisition art. I know a lot of people like it. It's well drawn, but I'm really not a fan. Our opponent is struggling to figure out what to decide. I feel like it's either the Crucible or the Path. Maybe it's you take 1 Martyr to avoid 9 life. I don't know. I don't think it's Martyr, though. I think it's either the Crucible or the Path. It's one of the Martyrs. Interesting. That tells us something. What it tells us is anyone's guess, but it tells us something. Let's get a Martyr down since they're so afraid of them. Six and a half minutes left for our opponent. Another Thoughtseize. Wow, they're just playing all the arts of the discard spells I don't like. They're playing non-Lorwyn Thoughtseize and the Inquisition that I don't know if anyone likes. I don't know, I'm sure someone likes it. That's not fair. Get in with Martyr. 16 turn clock. Where you at? Nope, even better now with the Martial Arts activation. Pretty Godless Shrine. Field of Ruin. They should totally Field of Ruin my Flagstones. That should be the thing they do, is to Field of Ruin my Flagstones. Okay. Opponent's considering. 4 cards left in our opponent's hand. Let's look at the graveyards. They have an Inquisition of Thoughtseize and a Marsh Flats to our Martyr and Crucible. They took the Martyr and Crucible out of our hands. They can Field of Ruin our Emeria really well, but then they get cast out. I would really like them to start attacking with the Gideon so I can path it. That would be my ideal. But I will happily spend, since I have 2 cast outs, I'll happily spend 1. Urborg, making everything annoying once again. Part of me just wants to Ghost Quarter it, but that would be a waste of a Ghost Quarter. Opponent taking their time here. Not a lot of urgency in our opponent's game. They uptick Martyr. And cast a Lingering Souls. I don't know why you uptick Martyr if you can just block it with Lingering Souls. But live your dope life. We'll cast the Ghostly Prison. And we'll pass. Field of Ruin. Probably gonna hit our Emeria. Night's Whisper. I haven't seen Bitter Blossom across the 3 games, and it's clear they have no hesitation in terms of actually... And it's clear they have no hesitation in terms of actually losing life, so I'm interested in the lack of Bitter Blossoms. Our opponent understands the urgency they're in, so they start attacking with Gideon, which is exactly what we want it, to be perfectly honest, because now that becomes removable. We kept the paths in for the Gideons, and it's nice when a plan comes together. They play a second Gideon, which feels predictable. Feels like I should have saw that coming. 13 cards in, we've only seen 3 lands. That's unfortunate. But yeah, sure. Opponent's down to under 4 minutes. Gideon. Block with Martyr. Activate Martyr. With the black, because Urborg. I wonder how many people have actually, like, misclicked on Urborg and capped black when they didn't need it. I'm almost positive that's part of the reason why some people play it. Not this deck. This deck actively needs the mana it generates, because black mana is important to the deck, but man, egg on face if you've ever clicked Urborg. I'm sure I'm going to do it this game. It's getting a little unfortunate here. that we can't cast out. We have to do that in case we draw a Serra. And that's an Ob Nixilis. Opponent start drawing cards and losing life. There's the land we need it. We could hold back cast out, but I think it's much more beneficial to cast a Ranger and start applying pressure that way. We'll get Martyr and Serra, because they will obviously hit us pretty hard here. Vault of the Archangel is obnoxious. It's gonna let them gain a bunch of life. And they concede, which seems appropriate. Okay. That never fell out of hand even when we lost the second one. It's weird. I've lost a lot of black-white tokens matchups against when running black-white, but apparently when we're running mono-white, we just get there. See you in round 2.